Republicans and MAGA are euphoric. During the past month, Donald Trump passed executive orders which has made his base extremely happy. From declaring a national emergency at the U.S. Mexico border, to deregulating drilling, to renaming Mount Denali in the Gulf of Mexico, the list is long and his voters are ecstatic. Republicans and MAGA have been frustrated and scared during the past 4 years, and they are elated that Trump is making quick work and huge strides. Promises made, promises kept. The Democrats, on the other hand, are absolutely beside themselves. No longer cries of racist, sexist, homophobe, and criminal. They have escalated to fascist, dictator, unhinged, unstable, authoritarian, and lawless. The beautiful utopia they had under Biden-Harris has crumbled to a shambles in less than a month. How could this have happened? Harris was a shoo-in to win. There's no way a Nazi criminal was going to win the election. Again. Yet, here we are. As euphoric as the Republicans are and as terrified as the Democrats are, we need to put this situation into perspective. This massive power shift will probably be very short-lived. In less than 2 years, it's likely that Trump will lose the House of Representatives, the Senate, or both. Throughout history, when one party wins a trifecta, which is the presidency, the Senate, and the House, they lose control of at least one chamber in the midterm elections. In the past 55 years, only the Democrats maintained power during Jimmy Carter's 4 years. No other trifecta has held during all 4 years of a president's term. Still, this is hardly good news for the Democrats. With Donald Trump's finger on the nuclear button, we could all perish long before the midterms. But if the Democrats can survive the next 2 years, they can look forward to a probable stalemate in power. Better yet, 2 years after that, they have a shot at winning the presidency again and undoing everything Trump has done in the past month. The odds are in their favor. Throughout American history, the Republicans and Democrats share the presidency roughly 50-50, meaning there is a Democrat president half the time and there is a Republican president half the time. So sooner or later, Trump's reign will end and a Democrat will take over. That's how it's been since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This is an endless cycle that America experiences. Euphoria for one party and desolation for the other, until the next election or two. Then the roles are reversed. It's glory for last year's loser and despondence for the current residents of hog heaven. Wouldn't it be nice if everybody could feel this euphoria all the time? Newsflash, it'll never happen as long as a Republican or Democrat is in power. So what's the answer? Glad you asked. I wrote a book about it. It is called Everybody's Happy, Everybody Wins: How to Build a Perfect Society. My book describes a society where Democrats and Republicans both get their way, and so does everybody else. Want to get off this silly political roller coaster? This up and down, fast-paced, often scary political joyride we all seem to love and hate at the same time? The best way to run this country and have everybody happy is to live by a set of principles, not politics. This is how everybody can win. But before we talk about solutions, let's talk more about you. You and your politics. How sometimes your side is in power and how sometimes the evil villains are in power. You might think that this is just the way it is, just the way it has to be. It is simply politics battling it out. But there's something deeper than politics going on here. It goes to the core of your spirit. It's how you feel on a daily basis. It goes to your underlying feelings about your present, future, and your country. To the Democrats, I ask, how does it feel to have hated Trump for 10 years? How is that Trump derangement syndrome working for you? Do you enjoy moving through life hating Trump, fearing Trump, reacting to every little thing he says in a news conference or on social media? Does that hate fuel you? Does it make you happy? Or does it eat away at your soul? Hating someone is like drinking poison and expecting them to die. Since the summer of 2015, when he announced his bid for presidency, you've been hating and fearing him. That's almost 10 years now. And he will be in office until January 2029. That's an additional 4 years, totaling 14. 14 years of hate. Ponder that for a minute. You hating someone nonstop for 14 years? Has that hatred benefited your life? Does it make you a better spouse, a better parent, employee, friend, neighbor? When you spread your hate among your echo chamber, does it give you power? Do you and your hateful group feel better after your rants about the evil Hitler? Or do you feel worse? Do you feel like you're ready to tackle the day and all the fun and not so fun things that are in store for you? Or do you feel like crap, angry, sullen, and exhausted? Hating someone for 14 years is quite a feat. The average lifespan of a human being is 73 years. That means you will carry hate in your heart for Donald Trump for 25% of your adult life. Donald Trump will live rent-free in your soul for 25% of your adult life. And that's assuming that when his term ends, you will stop thinking about him, which I doubt will happen. Is that something that you're proud of? Is it something you want to add to your resume? I will hate Donald Trump for at least 25% of my adult life. And Trump is just one Republican. What about all the other Republicans that you hate? J.D. Vance, Matt Gaetz, Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis, Lindsey Graham, Rand Paul, Mitch McConnell, John Thune, John Barrasso, Mike Johnson, Marco Rubio, George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, and Rudy Giuliani. And don't forget the Republican supporters that you hate. Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, Glenn Beck, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, the list goes on and on and on and on. All that hate. And for what? If you used only half of that hateful energy to enrich your relationships with your spouse, your kids, your family and friends, your coworkers, imagine how much better off you would be. With the way your hatred has controlled you for the past decade, I suppose we'll never know. What would be the alternative? If Donald Trump didn't exist, there'd be another Republican to take his place. But here's a better alternative, and this is a really fun thought. What if the Republicans never existed? What if all of American politics throughout all of American history was run by Democrats? Now that's a world I know you would want to live in. Instead of living in hate and fear, you could be living in a Democrat utopia where everything goes your way. What if you could live your life today with your Democrat, liberal, progressive attitudes and policies and be able to fund them with your Democrat, liberal, progressive friends and politicians? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Hold that thought. I'll get back to you in a minute. Now I ask the Republicans. I know you're having a blast this past month with Trump getting the country back the way you want it. But did you forget about the demons Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? I know you're enjoying your Trump euphoria right now, but I also know that you have a short memory. Let's take a walk down memory lane. Think back to the not-so-distant past, to the fall of 2024, 4 months ago. A blip in the grand scheme of time. The demon Joe Biden was president. The demon Kamala Harris was running for president. You were positive that Harris was going to win. You were positive that the Democrats were going to cheat like they did in 2020. And you were positive that you were helpless to stop it. You were positive that after they won, there was going to be a civil war. You were terrified that after she got into office, we would have 4 more years of Obama, Biden, Harris, Schumer, Waters, Pelosi. After those 4 years, life as we know it would be over. The country was going to fall off the cliff of sanity and into the eternal world of socialism and communism. We were living in the end times. Remember? Harris was the Antichrist and we were approaching the apocalypse. And with Harris in office, there would be 4 more years of Democrats brainwashing our youth in the public schools, and 4 more years of illegals crossing the southern border, eventually giving the Democrats enough votes to keep them in office forever. Remember? You were not so euphoric 4 months ago. So now I ask both the Republicans and the Democrats, How do you like going through this yo-yo of emotions? This tug of war of euphoria and terror? When your guy is in office, life is great. The country is finally back on track. America is moving in the right direction. When the other guy is in office, it's the end of America. It's watching not your president act like a buffoon. It's the end of the world as we know it. You live this back and forth of emotions every few years. Life is great. Life sucks. Our country is great. Our country sucks. My guy is the savior. The other guy is the devil. And so it goes. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for decades. And then you die. Taxes are wasted. Wars are fought. Filibusters happen. Your side wins, your side loses. Even when your side wins, the other side still gets in the way enough to prevent you from getting everything you want. So again, I ask both the Democrats and Republicans, how is that working for you? Do you see the insanity of your allegiances? Do you see the insanity of your hatred? Since the U.S. presidency is roughly 50-50 historically, this Trump euphoria terror tug of war will never end. When the Democrats eventually win, you will experience euphoria. Your person is going to write executive orders that will reverse everything that Trump has done over the past month. And then you're going to have Democrat euphoria while the Republicans are going to be in political mourning. Until a Republican gets back into office, and then the same process happens all over again. What if all of you could go through life without this emotional back and forth? What if you Democrats could live the rest of your lives pursuing your Democrat ideas and your liberal policies? What if your progressive ideals can exist full time without the Republicans getting in the way? And what if you Republicans and conservatives could live the rest of your lives enjoying your conservative ideas and traditional policies? What if your Republican ideals can exist full time without the Democrats getting in your way? The answer is obvious. You all would love to live in this kind of society. The good news is it's not as far away as you might think. Everybody's happy, everybody wins. How to Build a Perfect Society details how we are only 2 years away from this perfect society. Break the chains of euphoria and terror. Stop this back and forth tug of war, this back and forth emotional and political tug of war that America has been living since its inception. I am not your savior, but I am your messenger. Republicans and Democrats can have what they want at the same time. And so can everybody else. Everybody can be winning. All of us can be happy. Read my book, Everybody's Happy, Everybody Wins, How to Build a Perfect Society, and then reread it. It may be the most important book you have ever read. If reading is not your cup of tea, listen to the audiobook. If you'd like a private reading session, go to the Perfect Society YouTube channel, where I read the book to you. Links to all of these and more is on everybody'shappy.com. Let's finally move forward. Did you see me hit the mic with my face? I was talking and I guess I moved and I went goink. That's all right. Oh, well.